we just do what we gotta do.
It's very important. You do a lot of things. So do we start with the music? Kush Tracy, the author. Kush Tracy, the
singer-songwriter.
The chef who I'm very concerned about Dio Pilau kind holy shit.
Oh yeah, KTN.
And then
I'm like, what? Okay, I'm an open book. Okay, whatever you want to talk about, let's go.
Where do we start? So
where do you want to start?
Let's start with the music because that's how we got introduced to Kush Tracy.
Yes.
And your not transition. We'll say you coming back to the Lord. It had people up in arms. Kush Tracy, bro, utachange uitwe nani? The burning bush Tracy, utaitwa nani? You know, people were concerned. And then you didn't release music. You were still being a media personality, interacting with people in terms of conversation, having very important conversations, by the way. And now you're back into releasing music. The long break, umesema tu kuna feel release music. So tell us what inspired the change and the shift in energy to release energy and
well, of course, anyone who knows my story started out as a secular artist, right? 2019, got saved, backslid within the same year, and went extreme. Like the first line I had was like, Maradisizi drinks tuna flash, then I'm having a shot. Maradisizi shash tuna pass. Yani manzeni lipiga one. Ni 360 kwanga 180. I did like a 180 degree turn. And I went back to just my old ways. But I think it was important for me to experience that because looking back, I'm like, I went back and I was like, by the way, hakuna kitu tofauti. Like nothing has actually changed. Like there's nothing new that is happening. And I was like, Kush Tracy is just about time. And that time I was like around 27. I was 27. So I was like, do I really want to get into my 30s doing the same thing, partying in the same clubs and I'm just out there with Watuoko campus. Niko to like, Kush Tracy, you got to change your priorities, girl. What do you want to do with your life? You get what I'm saying? And just, aside from that, I also I really want to have a big family. That's one of my desires. And I was like, what kind of a mom do I want to be? So I was like, baby girl, kuna vitu zenye kuna itabidi chorea. So I think that was one of the hardest things, just facing myself and, being brutally honest with who I was, what I was doing, and calling myself out. Because that is something a lot of people don't want to do. Like, it's so hard to sit yourself down and be like,
oh, true.
By the way, you're messed up, you're doing this, you end up. So it was very interesting.
I also saw Miss P, actually. Alituambia pale kwenye mtandao, she's now saved. She's left the secular music. She's left certain relationships that were taking her back. And maybe what I want to ask you is, what was one of the things that was kind of hard for you to just leave behind and forget and now move into the new transformation and the transition?
I think people try to complicate salvation, and for me, it's just become a way of life. It's just who I am. I don't partake in a lot of things which I used to do previously. But of which atukiangalia, let's be honest, ni kukunywa tu na sherehe na bangi na, as in all honesty, when I'm like, people feel like they're losing out when you're chucking away at you all these, the things that you're doing.
It's just a day off that you carry forward forever.
Exactly, and I'm like, bruh, it's only, you just have to give up the drugs and just find so.
People are bashing her for the same. Like,
for
that post, actually, people are saying like,
with her situation, I'll be honest. And this might rub people the wrong way. With that situation, I have a lot of issues with the Miss P situation. And it starts with the rape case that she alleges never happened again. It undermines a lot of people. And so the whole thing coming back, the whole thing just packaged, we will unpack later. This is just different. It's just very different. I have too many bones to pick.
I'm hearing that part of the story, but I remember we did the story when we were on the show. We did the story, but I don't think tulifika kwa hiyo. The rest of that, so I'm just hearing it right now. But I'm like, one thing I feel like people need to understand, none of us is perfect, and that's why there's grace for us to walk in salvation. Salvation is not, religion, and I think a lot of people confuse the two things. It's about your spiritual walk. Do you know God? Do you understand the things of God? Are you aligning to the things of God? Because you can't be claiming you're living to glorify God, but the things you're doing, clearly there's where the attention is at, So I'm very imperfect. I don't claim to be perfect. I still fall short. I'm still learning a lot of things.
Course.
Yeah.
I'm in a journey, but I've embraced the person God is calling me to.
You embrace the ugly
so
as well.
Yeah.
And accepting to sit with yourself and ask yourself those hard questions. Because, I think we hide a lot from ourselves.
Yeah.
It's okay, you can hide from everyone else, but from yourself.